India and Pakistan have fought over Kashmir for decades, but now Pakistan faces a threat to its existence from inside. At this point, Islamabad doesn't need a map, it needs crisis management classes.
रावलाकोट वालों को एडा लंबा चौड़ा कश्मीरी बनता भी नहीं है।
सर्टिफिकेट के साथ पाकिस्तानी भी कोई नहीं बनता।
A 50-year-old British national from Peterborough has lost his life in a brutal crackdown by Pakistani military forces in POK, and this changes the stakes. Meanwhile, thousands of kilometers away, visuals showed tens of thousands of people of Balochistan celebrating their own independence from Pakistan. But soon in the aftermath of Balochistan's declaration of independence, Pakistan launched fresh military strikes in which at least 21 civilians, including women and children, have lost their lives. Baloch leaders have now demanded the United Nations and Organization of Islamic Cooperation to call it the Independent Republic of Balochistan. So will POK also break away next?
कश्मीर पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं है।
Pakistani military crackdown is not only attracting strong condemnation from India, but now concern is rising in Britain and is gaining international attention. And the question Islamabad now faces is brutally simple. Can Pakistan afford another war with India? And if so, would POK and Balochistan break away forever just like in 1971 when India secured Bangladesh's independence? At this rate, the failed marshal may soon have to issue a national appeal to please revolt one at a time. First, let's get you updates from what could now be the independent state of Balochistan. 21 Baloch nationals lost their lives in new Pakistani airstrikes in Sorab, Gwadar, Quetta, Turbat and Sibi. Pakistani airstrikes have triggered another wave of protests in Sorab and Gwadar. According to reports, mobile phones and internet services have also been shut down in many parts of Balochistan. Baloch leaders and activists also claim that most Pakistani strikes target civilian areas and not Baloch military installations. Repeated military strikes, forceful abductions and curbs on political speech have increased public anger and bitterness. Protesters demand accountability from the government in Islamabad. Pakistani airstrikes on civilians come after the BLA claimed that they also eliminated 32 Pakistani soldiers in counter-strikes this month. According to a report from News 18, the BLA also launched 6 overnight counterattacks which targeted Pakistani police and Pakistani military personnel. Even during Balochistan's liberation movement, Pakistan conducted multiple airstrikes inside Baloch provinces. Pakistani security forces claim that they have eliminated 75 militants in the region. And this week, they claim that they eliminated 10 more Baloch rebels. As of July 2026, at least 40 Baloch civilians had been eliminated in so-called Pakistani operations, but the toll is certainly higher. Nearly 300 Baloch civilians have lost their lives in Pakistani military operations in 2025 alone. Baloch nationals call it state terror and accuse Pakistan Army of collective punishment. Balochistan declared its independence from Pakistani occupation on the 11th of August this year. Baloch activists thanked Indian media for being among the first to recognize the independent Republic of Balochistan. As far as Indian government is concerned, the Ministry of External Affairs condemned Pakistani atrocities in both POJK and Balochistan. Our news report on Indian Air Force was ranking among the top 5 in Google News videos. I am Shobit Mittal. Subscribe to Inconnect News for the most informative news content. Responding to Indian MEA, Baloch activist wrote on X, Republic of Balochistan welcomes and deeply appreciates Indian media for highlighting Balochistan's commemoration of 11th August during today's press briefing with Ministry of External Affairs. Miriam Baloch also highlighted Indian government's stance on Balochistan's sovereignty, adding, "We also appreciate India's principled and consistent position on human rights." His Excellency, the MEA spokesperson, Mr. Randeep Jaiswal, emphasized the need for Pakistan to be held accountable for gross human rights violations in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and other areas under its control. While Balochistan was not specially mentioned by His Excellency, we value India's broader call for accountability and respect for human rights. Meanwhile, turmoil and unrest continues to unfold in POJK with elections postponed indefinitely after hundreds of thousands of Kashmiris protested and demanded Pakistan military's complete withdrawal and use of lethal crackdown. We'll bring you all the recent updates from POJK shortly. Baloch leaders have now approached the United Nations, ASEAN Bloc, African Union, as well as the OIC, or the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, to recognize its independence. So could the 57-nation OIC bloc get another member soon? Mir Baloch says their movement marked August 11, 1947 as the day Balochistan actually became independent just before the partition of India by the British. On that day, the Khanate of Kalat, a local kingdom, had declared itself independent from British rule, which ended in 1947. After Kalat remained outside Pakistan for 7 long months, its ruler, Mir Ahmad Yar Khan, was claimed to have been betrayed by Muhammad Ali Jinnah into signing a document on the 27th of March 1948 to join Pakistan. But the people of Balochistan say they never really agreed willingly to this accession. Baloch nationalists view Pakistan's rule as unlawful, arguing that the region's accession with Pakistan was forced and deceitful. Some factions in the movement, including the BLA, have resorted to armed struggle, running an insurgency against the Pakistani military. They also accuse Pakistan's Punjabi-dominated elite of ethnic discrimination and persecution in the region. Pakistan keeps crying about plebiscite in Kashmir, so why doesn't Pakistan hold a plebiscite in Balochistan and POK? Or is Islamabad too afraid to let people decide their own fate? Meanwhile, the region of POJK continues to be in turmoil for the past 2 months. Indian Ministry of External Affairs slammed Pakistani lethal military crackdown as the death toll has crossed 100. Indian MEA added, "We would like to highlight the human rights violations being committed in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and other parts of the country. We call upon the international community to hold Pakistan accountable for its misdeeds, abuses and gross violations of human rights, including against its own people." Randir Jaiswal added, "Public discontent was answered with bullets, blackouts, repression and oppression. More than 90 people have lost their lives and many more injured. This has made news across the world." India has also slammed Pakistan's so-called elections, calling it a complete farce. According to a claim by JAAC, more than 400 people actually have lost their lives since the Kashmiri protests began in June. Pakistan has been forced to suspend its so-called sham elections indefinitely due to mass boycott of polls and protests against the Pakistani occupation. The fire from POK has now spread across the world and several countries, including the United Kingdom and the United States of America. Now Kashmiris protested in Geneva, where hundreds of Kashmiris were seen holding rallies with banners, placards and also sloganeering against the Pakistani atrocities in POK. Large-scale protests have now been witnessed in London, Washington DC, New York, Luton and in front of the United Nations Human Rights Council headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. According to this report, a British national identified as Muhammad Akhtar, a 50-year-old resident of Peterborough, was reportedly shot dead when Pakistani military rangers opened fire in Kotli region of POK. A second case involves another 38-year-old British national from Nottingham. His name was Waqas Arif. Now, Arif was reportedly detained in Mirpur in POK by Pakistani military. Arif's sister was quoted saying, "Waqas was not involved in any kind of protest, but since my other 2 brothers were involved and they went for the protest with everybody else, the Pakistani forces along with rangers came to my house and took my brothers away." Arif's sister also alleges that thousands of people who have been detained by military have also not been charged or presented in court. Arif's wife has taken the case to British authorities, but even British officials have not been able to speak to him since his detention. Hundreds of people in POK have been detained, arrested, eliminated or abducted just like this. The United Kingdom's Foreign Office was deeply concerned regarding humanitarian situation in POJK, stating, "FCDO ministers and UK High Commissioner in Islamabad are in touch with their counterparts, and United Kingdom travel advice was updated on the 7th of August and continues to advise against all but essential travel to affected areas." Here are some more more updates from POK. The JAAC Kashmiri group and civilian protesters are set to mark August 14th as Black Day for Pakistani military. Women protesters continue to join the protest in large numbers. POJK protesters were seen burning the Pakistani flag and demanding complete withdrawal of Pakistani military from Kashmir as per UNSC resolution of 1948. But what do you believe? Balochistan or POK? Which will Pakistan lose first? Leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.